This is a demonstration of the Effective Firearms Guide to Stopping Power Indices phone app, which provides up to 6 indicators of bullet performance. This example uses the Android Studio phone simulator. However, as shown on the page, the app is available on all the major platforms, Windows, iPhone, and with the Android version being available from both Google and Amazon. The impetus for this example are the guidelines used by my esteemed colleague Gimbu Kali in his concealed carry classes, where he states that he does not allow small calibers such as 22s, 25s, and 32s. He also includes 380s in that lot as being inadequate for personal defense, given the choice, of course. Here we will compare a contemporary 380 load to the classical 38 special load using simple paper statistics, the numbers provided by the app, for comparison purposes. The initial display allows for input of up to 4 parameters, the first 2 being the bullet weight in grains and the bullet velocity in feet per second. Classical 38 load, 158 grain round nose lead bullet. Although velocities can vary, way back in my youth when I used to hand load ammunition, I remember a speed of around 770 feet per second. Now, as indicated here, on hand loads, 770 is reasonable since that's between 750 and 790 in terms of velocity. And on the Smith & Wesson forum posting, we see 770 is within the range of velocity shown here on this page. So that's acceptable. Tapping calculate, we have a momentum of 17 foot-pounds per second, and a muzzle or kinetic energy, for those who prefer to emphasize velocity, of 208 foot-pounds. Specifying a caliber, scrolling to 38 special, and tapping calculate, displays a John Taylor knockout factor of 6 and the Peter Thorniley stopping power value of 30. Now, both Taylor and Thorniley were big game hunters, as described on the Wikipedia page for the Taylor knockout factor. That page, on the alternative approaches, that page also references Thorniley stopping power and does a comparison of the 4 measures that we've given thus far in the app. There's also an online calculator for Taylor knockout factor and an online calculator for Thorniley stopping power. Unfortunately, I haven't found a definitive source on whether Thorniley was spelled L-E-Y or L-Y. It's L-Y here, L-E-Y on the Wikipedia page, and I think I ended up using L-E-Y in the app simply because I was looking at the Wikipedia page when I created it. So going back to our app, specifying a bullet form, tapping calculate, we have a general Julian Hatcher relative stopping power value of 27. This seems reasonable, as if I look at Dexter's table, Hatcher's theory of relative stopping power, going down to 38 special, 158 grains, lead round nose here, velocity slightly lower, 755. That gives us 26.224, which means 27 seems reasonable for our slightly higher velocity. The expanded Hatcher value is not displayed here because it doesn't apply since lead round nose bullets did not expand. Both Taylor and Thorniley were big game hunters, as I mentioned, and so their formulas do not take into account bullet form because it wasn't particularly relevant for them. Nobody's likely to hunt a rhino or a bull elephant with a hollow point. And so in their domain, probably everything was full metal jacket. So we have this set of values for the 38. Now let's reset things and look at a 380. The load I am currently carrying in 380 is a Thorniley Critical Defense 90 grain bullet, 1,000 feet per second muzzle velocity. So entering in 1,000, 90, tapping calculate. So we have a momentum of 13 foot-pounds per second and a muzzle energy of 200. Comparing that with our previous values, we see there's almost a 25% drop in momentum due to the much lighter bullet, 158 is 90 as opposed to 158, but a smaller drop in muzzle energy since our velocity is considerably higher, 1,000 as opposed to 770. Selecting 380, tapping calculate, we have a Taylor knockout factor of 5 and Thorniley stopping power of 22. Selecting the bullet form for this particular round, soft point would be most appropriate. Tapping calculate, we have a Hatcher relative stopping power of 20 and expanded value of 27. And this seems reasonably correct. If I go down to 380 and look at jacketed soft point expanded, slightly lighter bullet 88, slightly slower 990. That gives a value of 25.855. If we increase the value, they'll take it up over 26. Increase the velocity rather, that will take it up over 26. And increasing the weight will bring it closer to 27. Coming down a few lines on jacketed soft point unexpanded, we see basically a value of 19.944. So that's close to the 20 that we had. So our values seem reasonably correct, 20 and 27. So, with a modern 380 load, contemporary load, comparing it to, say, classical 38 load, we notice that basically it's close to it in muzzle energy and equivalent to it in Hatcher stopping power when you compare the expanded value of the 380 to the unexpanded value of the 38. Now, while the classical 38 load has been routinely criticized, I think this does demonstrate that the 380 should not be lumped in with 22s and 25 automatics in defensive capability. Note when you have the app, all the reference links are included there on the app, so you can always check your calculations if you're at home. And note the paragraph here where it basically notes that all the values are available via the internet, although I have not found a Hatcher calculator yet. But obtaining them would require visiting multiple websites. There's no one site providing all the values. That can be awkward when standing in the store evaluating ammunition options on the shelf. So this becomes very handy, easy to use option, and can be very useful when you take up some time to get familiarity with the values and the numbers obtained. This can also be used, say maybe you're designing a game and you have shooter in your game, and so you want to add additional verbiage to make the shooter scene increase their aura of expertise. So then you can basically reference these values within your game. Again, it's available on all three major platforms: Windows, iPhone, with the Android version being available from both Google Play and Amazon.